Man, I'm having a great time photographing in this wonderful location. I'm Rick Sammon. Let's take a few minutes. I want to show you the essential gear I take with me when I go on location. Whenever I'm traveling in the field like this or in the city, I travel around with two digital SLR camera bodies. I have my Canon 1DS Mark II with the 28 to 105 millimeter zoom. I love zoom lenses. That's great for some landscape pictures and some people pictures. And I travel with my 1D Mark II with this great lens. It's a 100 to 400 millimeter IS lens. That takes the shake out of the pictures. And I use this for my wildlife photography and some of my people photography. Now, that's just the start of my gear. Let me show you what else is in my bag of tricks. Before I tell you what's in here, I want to tell you something very important. When I travel, I am totally self-contained. Everything I need to shoot is in this camera bag. That way, if my luggage is lost, I can still take pictures. Okay, let's see what's in here. Let's talk lenses first. In low light photography, like late in the afternoon when I'm photographing wildlife, I might use my 70 to 200 millimeter IS zoom lens. This is an essential lens. I always have it with me. For my serious landscape photography, I have my Canon 17 to 40 millimeter lens. This lens is tack sharp. I've taken some breathtaking photographs of landscapes around the world with this small compact lens. And I also like to take this lens with me, the Canon 15 millimeter full frame fisheye lens. You've probably seen the effects of this in magazines when you see the horizon line curve. It's a great lens, especially when you're in a tight situation. Now, let's talk memory cards. I don't have any money in this wallet, but I have something more valuable than money when I'm out in the field. It's my memory cards. I use the SanDisk Extreme 3 2GB cards because I shoot RAW files, and RAW files take up a lot of space on a memory card. When I'm done using the card, I just flip it over and put it back in so I don't use it again. Speaking of memory cards, here's an important tip. You want to format your memory cards in the camera, not through your computer. That's the best way to get rid of all the information on your card and start again. All right, let's talk battery power. Battery power is really important in the field. I always take 2 extra batteries with me. Before I leave, what I do is with my battery charger, which again I take with me when I'm traveling, I leave it in the hotel room when I'm out in the field, but I charge my batteries and I press refresh, drains all the power out of the batteries and then charges them fully, so my batteries operate at peak performance when I'm out in the field. Let me show you some other cool accessories I have in my bag of tricks here. I have my blower brush. I use this to get dust off my image sensor, and I have my sensor swabs for those really hard to remove spots of dust which can look like big blobs in the picture. An essential accessory I take with me is my variable output flash. Variable output means I can control the output of the flash for a daylight fill-in flash. An essential accessory. I never leave home without this flash and some really cool flash accessories. Let's take a look at those. Hidden in this pocket, I have my flash diffusers. This fits over the flash head to soften the light, and this diffuser fits over the flash head to soften the light. My goal with flash pictures is I don't want my flash pictures to look like flash pictures. These accessories soften the light, and these accessories help me place the shadow behind the subject. Camera goes here, flash goes here, the sync cord goes between the flash and the camera, and by swiveling this little bracket here, I can always put the light from the flash behind the subject. Okay, I got some other cool stuff to show you. When you're using a telephoto lens or a telephoto zoom, you really want to use a tripod to steady the camera. I recommend a tripod with a ball head, and this lets you swivel the camera in any direction for total creative control. Now, some places they don't let you use a tripod. They're afraid someone's going to trip over it, and you don't want that to happen because if they do trip over it, you're going to be out of luck with your camera. In those situations, get a monopod, because a monopod won't steady the camera as much as a tripod, but it will help you get a steady shot. Okay, I have other stuff to show you. If you're really serious about your people photography, as I am, you really want to get one of these. It's a 5-in-1 reflector diffuser kit. This is the diffuser part of the kit, and what you do is you have an assistant, a friend, or a passerby hold this between the sun and the subject so you get the nice, beautiful, soft light on the subject's face. This folds down like this. It takes a little practice to be able to do that, and it fits in this case here. This is the reflector part of the kit. We have a gold side for the nice soft gold light, and we have the silver side for a little harsher light. And you have an assistant, again, hold this and bounce the light onto the subject's face. All this fits in this case here. Now, before, you saw that I like to travel around with both my cameras. I always like to be ready to shoot. So what I did is I put a little camera strap over here so I can hang this over my shoulder and walk around, have my hands free for shooting. All right, now I'm going to show you the heavy hitters, the big guns. This is my special gear that I take with me on special assignments. When the animals are really far away, I use my Canon 400mm DO lens. This is a diffractive optic lens. What it does is it makes the lens shorter than it normally would be, and I use a lens hood. Using a lens hood is really important no matter what lens you use, and that helps reduce lens flare, which can ruin a picture. When the animals are even further away, I use my teleextenders. I use a 1.4x teleextender and I use a 2x teleextenders. Essential accessories when the animals are far away and if you're serious about wildlife photography. When the animals are really close, like when I'm photographing butterflies, I'll use a Canon 100mm macro lens and a 50mm macro lens. I use the 100 macro lens when the animals are a little further away. And I'm very serious about my macro photography, my close-up photography, so I use a Canon ring light. And what this does is this puts out a nice, soft, even light around the animals. Let's take a look at another important photo accessory. And guess what? You're looking at it. It's my photo jacket. You know, today they won't let you take 3 bags on the airplane. Well, guess what? This is my third carry-on. What I have in here today is my storm jacket. I use this when I'm shooting in the rain or the snow or the sleet or the mist from a waterfall. I have my polarizing filter. I use this to reduce reflections on the water and to darken the blue sky and to whiten the white clouds. But a polarizing filter is really only effective when the sun is off to your left or your right. And I have some gradual filters. And I use these filters to reduce the contrast range between a bright sky and a dark landscape. If you're serious about landscape photography, you really want to get these. All right, something else I never leave home without. My little point and shoot camera for my fun shots. You know, I'm a pro. I like to take my serious shots, but I also like to take the fun shots. Put one of these in your pocket and you'll see that you'll take more fun shots. Okay, I'm going to meet you up with my Jeep. I want to show you the computer that I use in the field. Let's go. Let's start with my laptop. I like the 12-inch monitor because this computer is pretty small. It fits in either of my camera bags. To get the pictures off my card, I use a card reader. This is a lot faster to use a card reader than hooking your camera with the cables up to your computer. If you're into speed, get a card reader. In the field, I store my pictures on 80 gigabyte and 100 gigabyte hard drives. It's a lot faster to transfer your pictures to a hard drive than if you were going to burn a CD or a DVD. And I have an extra battery because no power in the field, I'm dead in the water. And I can't have fun looking at my pictures. And speaking of that, I had a lot of fun shooting by the river over there. I want to see what I got. I'll catch you later, and thanks for joining me.